All right, so far, the reaction within the Trump administration publicly to this Jeff Goldberg article about him being included on a text message thread over the weekend, including the National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Secretary of State Rubio, Secretary of Defense Hegseth, Director of the CIA John Ratcliffe, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, Secretary of the Treasury Bessent, and all of their top lieutenants, like 18 top national security people, where they were discussing classified war plans in the attack that took place in Yemen this past Saturday. Donald Trump's public reaction is, I don't know anything about that, which that's worse. Okay. He's commander in chief of the United States military. And he's like, I don't know anything about that. And Pete Hegseth, and then he went on to attack Jeff Goldberg in the Atlantic, saying they're a shitty magazine, they're a failing business, they're going under. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth's public reaction was to say that Jeff Goldberg is a deceitful and disgusting person. He's a shitty reporter who peddles in hoaxes, even after the government had confirmed in his story that that text thread was real and involved all of these people. Behind the scenes, though, we're starting to get some reporting on what's going on behind the scenes at the White House. And sources say that people within the White House are absolutely furious and somebody's head has to roll. So we're 2 months in. We're 2 months in. And bear in mind that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz was a member, I think he was a former member of Congress, actually. And Trump picked him to be National Security Advisor. It's Mike Waltz was the one who added Jeffrey Goldberg from the Atlantic to this text thread, thinking it was a different Jeff, I guess. I don't know. And, you know, while nothing has been finalized, reports have sparked furious discussion inside the White House about whether to force out Mike Waltz. According to reports, Trump is set to make that decision within the next 2 days, as coverage of this is going to get worse. It's going to get worse by the hour over the rest of this week. Because Pete Hegseth has called the reporter a liar. The reporter has screenshots. There were screenshots of these text messages in his article. And some people are trying to figure out whether Mike Waltz is going to get fired or not. Half the people in the White House saying he's never going to survive or shouldn't survive this. He ought to resign and spare Trump. It was reckless not to check who was on the text thread. It was reckless to be having that conversation on Signal. You can't have recklessness as the national security advisor. One person close to Trump said the following: everything in the White House can agree on one thing. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is a fucking idiot. So let's take bets. Let's take bets. I think Mike Waltz is out by 5 p.m. on Thursday. Let me know what you think in the comments.